Here's the number one reason your customers don't come back. They just feel like it was an appointment and it wasn't an experience. So let's start. Think like a customer. What stores, what offices, what service providers do you frequent? Are you always going to the salon? Are you going to a spa? Are you always going to a grocery store or a small mom and pop shop that you absolutely adore? Why do you go there? Well, the way you evaluate businesses is the same way your customers and your clients are evaluating your business. Before the appointment matters, how welcome they feel when they come in, and after the appointment absolutely matters in their client experience. So think about your business. How does your customer feel when they walk in the door? Do does it evoke feelings of warmth? Do they feel like they've been welcomed? Does Is your environment inviting? How does it smell? And maybe you're in a place where you don't want too many smells. Maybe you're a doctor's office and you don't know if people are allergic to certain smells. But if you can't have any essential oils or candles burning, it should smell clean. It should smell fresh. Now, how clean is the waiting area? Does it seem organized? Are there papers and flyers everywhere? Are there pamphlets about whatever new thing is going on? Are they everywhere or is it nice and neat? All of these things matter. In fact, I would say if you're a doctor's office, how your team members at the front provide service is even more important. Are they respectful? What type of tone are they using? Are they asking questions out loud where other people in the waiting room will know why this patient has come in? Or is their volume lower? Is their tone friendly and kind? Are they smiling when they speak with the patient so that the patient feels comfortable answering the questions? All of these things create an experience for your client that you want them to come back to. You want them to rebook, and you want them to tell their friends and their family that they should come to you. Another thing we should consider sometimes as a team member, we've been doing a job for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and we understand what we're doing. And so, because our minds are elsewhere, we talk kind of fast. Have you ever called somewhere and they say, "Thank you for calling. Blah, blah, blah. How can I help you?" And you're thinking, "Did I call the right place? Who did I just call?" And so you're assuming because you dialed the right number that you got the right business. Remind your team members this is old hat to them. They've done this a million times, but this could be this patient's only appointment this year with your office. Or perhaps if you're at a salon, maybe they come in once a month, once every 3 months, once every 6 months. Either way, your team members should slow down their speech so that it's clear their name, the business, especially if they're on the phone and it's hard to distinguish what someone is saying sometimes over the phone. What we want to stay away from is making our customers feel like our place is cold or they're just a cog in a wheel or they're just something to check off our to-do list. Sometimes when we're saying the right words, but we aren't giving the correct mm, emotion behind it, it can come across as ingenuous. Let me give you an example. If you walk into an office and they say, "Hi, thank you for coming in. What's your name? Hi, what's your appointment time?" Or if they say, "Hi, thank you for coming in today. Can I get your name? Can I get your last name? Can I get your phone number?" Be sure to sign in on the sign in sheet and I'll check you in just a moment. That's very different than, "Are you ready? I'm sorry, what's your name? What time is your appointment?" And you may think these are very small things, but it is the small things that make a difference for your client experience. Have you ever visited somewhere and you left and they did, what they said they were going to do, but you didn't really feel connected and you're not quite sure why you're not excited to go back? And sometimes if it's a doctor's office, you have to go back and you don't have a choice, but you would never refer them. It's the little things along the way that cause us to decide, "Oh, yes, I must visit this place again," or eh, they were okay. I might look for something else, right? So let's think about the tangibles, the things that we can touch. Our office should be clean, our waiting area should be clean, it should be organized. The office should have a flow to it that makes sense. When they come in, there should be a front desk where you check in. It shouldn't be all the way on the other side of the room where you can go to the private patient area before you even see the receptionist or the front desk person, right? Also, it should smell clean. If you're in a place where you can have a light essential oil, maybe a peppermint or something like that, that may add to it, or a candle that you can burn, something that's nice and clean that won't affect allergies. Have that. It feels so warm and inviting when you come into an office and the aura is amazing. Just stepping in there lets you know, oh, I'm in the right place. Other thing to consider, if you have a public restroom, is it clean? Have you ever gone to a restaurant or somewhere and everything kind of seems clean, and then you go into the restroom and you think, is everything clean? Or is it just the places they think we're going to see that are clean? What are your thoughts when you see, a room that you don't normally see and it's not that clean? You're thinking to yourself, maybe they're faking. Is everything else clean? Are they just kind of, making it seem as if it's better than it is? This is something that you should consider for your business. Also, and this may be a personal pet peeve, the waiting room chairs. Have you ever walked through your waiting room and looked at the chairs? Sometimes, if someone's drinking something, they may spill it. Sometimes they may have something on the back of their pants and they don't know. Look at your chairs. Hair naturally falls from our head. So there may be hair on the chairs, or maybe there's a stain. Walk through your waiting area. Look at the chairs. Wipe it off, clean it down. Or if it's not you, make sure a team member or contract someone, hire someone to do that. Imagine going to your hairstylist or your doctor's office and you go, let's say you go 4 times in a year. And every time you go, you sit in the same chair or close to the same chair. And there's always, the chair looks like it hasn't really been cleaned in a month or two. Or what if you have faux plants in your office and you come in, let's say the patient comes in January and it seems fine. And then they have to come back in April and the plant is still in the same place and the dust is there. And then you come back a few months after that and the dust is there. Listen, I'm just saying there are things that we look at as customers that when we become business owners, it's like we forget. Look at your waiting area as you would if you were coming in as a customer, as a client, as a patient. Consider it that way because that's what they are seeing when they come in. So, if you are a doctor's office, make sure that your front desk is being very respectful. They should consider the tone they're using when they're speaking to patients. Sometimes patients are coming in and they are stressed, they are nervous, they're not sure what's going on, especially if it's a referral. So, make sure your front desk, even though they've gone through this so many times, the patient has it. And even if the patient's been there before, the patient's dealing with something. And so, tone, volume, in which they use to ask questions, that's all very, very important. Last thing, if you're running behind, it's okay. We understand. Tell your patient that when they check in so that they can decide if they're going to listen to an audiobook or watch a video, and they'll know and they won't come back to ask, or they won't think, well, do they know what I'm going in? When you tell them up front, it lets them know you're organized, you appreciate their time, and you are going to be able to get to them today. If you also sell products in your office, make sure the shelves are clean. Sometimes people take a walk around and they're interested in the products that you offer. But if the shelf is dusty, or if the product itself is dusty, mm, not the best client experience. If you're a hairstylist, audit your waiting area because I know a lot of times hairstylists don't spend any time in their waiting area. So audit it. Make sure it's swept. Make sure it's not dusty. Make sure it's very clean so that if one of your customers has to wait, they will feel comfortable wherever they're sitting. I know hair stations tend to be very clean. Always, hairstylists are always cleaning up and dusting and sweeping, and that is great. Make sure you check out that waiting area. Make sure you check out the dryer, the chairs that the customer is going to sit in, the floor that's around the dryer knobs. Check all of that. Come in as if you've never seen it before. If you need assistance, ask a friend to come in and check it out. Now, you can't get your feelings hurt if things aren't perfect. But remember, all of this is to improve your area so that you can retain more clients. So, when you walk into an office, when you walk into a salon, and it seems like it's clean enough, it seems like it's inviting enough. But when you look closer, the team members, maybe their tone isn't quite patient enough. Maybe the faux plants in the waiting area are a little bit dusty. What's your impression? Are they building trust? Mm, I would say maybe not. I would say that they may, as a customer, question the capabilities. They may question the care that you're going to provide, and it may not even be obvious to them. It may not even be conscious. It may just be something in the back of their mind that doesn't allow them to settle with you, with your team. And so we want to get rid of all of that and make sure everything they see, every person they come into contact with is a definite, oh, I love this place. I have got to come back. So how do you solve this issue if you have it? Consider your capacity and consider your resources. Should you redesign your waiting area? Should you clean it yourself? Who should do it? Is it you? Is it your team members? Or should you hire someone? Again, consider your capacity and consider your resources when you're making this decision. Once you've gotten everything super clean, pay attention to when regular cleaning should be based on the busyness of your office, your salon. Should you have a deep clean every week, every month, every 2 months, and then have someone go through every week and make sure they dust and everything's nice and clean? It just depends on your business. I would suggest if you have a busy waiting area that someone from the team goes through the waiting area once a day just to make sure there's not any papers left around, making sure, people didn't leave their valuables, being sure the chairs are clean, the plants, everything. Let's say you have a real plant. You could have soil, the pot itself could be dirty. Whoever needs to check the restrooms, if you have a public facing one, or a private one, make sure they check the restroom because all of that is really, really important. Now, I know it's more to the client experience than just, well, when you come in, are people treating you well and is the place clean? And I'd like to talk to you about it in detail in my class on May 28th. We're going to go through my 4-part framework for client retention, and I'd love to have you there. And if you're a service professional, you absolutely need to be in this class. Again, it is May 28th, 6:30 p.m. That is Central Time. I'm going to link it below. And I hope you enjoyed this and come on back. We're going to talk more about how to retain your clients.